Hey, so today's video is all about fasting and the importance of fasting and why I love to use it in the coaching program and the women that I'm helping. So we have been taught and educated that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This was actually a marketing tool that Kellogg's used around 60 or 70 years ago to market their breakfast cereals. And as a society, as a culture in the UK, we now believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's not. The body cannot distinguish whether it's breakfast, lunch or dinner. The body doesn't know that, okay? So there is no most important meal of the day. All food are equal, all times of the day that we eat doesn't really impact our long-term weight loss journey, okay? So intermittent fasting is a simple and effective strategy which I want you to try. And this video plus a following video you're going to be getting over the next couple of days is going to support you with that. So what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is periods of not eating followed by periods of eating. So periods where you do not consume calories, so no calories from liquids or food, followed by periods of eating. So fasting, being in a fasted state, is when the body does not have calories and it uses its own energy, so its own fat, carbohydrates stored inside of the body to use for calories, okay, to use as energy. And then when we are feeding, we are consuming calories from food. Why is intermittent fasting the approach that I'm going to recommend to you, which is a 16-hour, 8-hour protocol? So you do 16 hours of fasted, followed by 8 hours of fed. So 16 hours of no calories, no food, 8 hours of calories and food. Why is it an effective strategy? There's lots of science which backs up fasting, which really talks highly about fasting in terms of how it can help with nutrition, gut health, calorie control, hunger control. But the biggest reason why I like it is for two key reasons. Firstly, it teaches you about true hunger. If you are overweight, if you are heavier than you would like to be, your hunger cues right now are off. They are not working how they should be. So you may be eating emotionally. You may be consuming food because you are bored. You may be consuming food out of habit. What do I mean by that? It might be 10:15 in the office, and at 10:15 is always when the roll van comes and you always go and buy yourself an almond croissant and a coffee. Or it might be 1 o'clock at work and that's when the cakes get brought out. Or it might be 9 p.m. sitting at home on the sofa. That is always when the kids go to sleep and you sit and have crisps or cheese and biscuits because that's your time to relax. So these are habitual based habits, habitual based eating plans that we have as humans, and everyone has this, okay? So that's one reason why fasting is good. It teaches you what true hunger is, because most of the times when we consume calories, we are not actually hungry, we are doing it out of habit. So going for long periods of time, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours without food is really good and an effective tool to teach you what true hunger is. And I have been doing this protocol for a long time personally, and it's really good, okay? And it's really effective. I've used it with lots and lots of women as well to great success. The second key reason is, this isn't really too complex. If I give you 18 hours of your day to eat, or I give you 8 hours of your day to eat, we are likely going to consume less calories in a smaller feeding window. 8 hours versus 18. If most of us sleep for 6 or 8 hours a night, you've got like 16, 17, 18 hours to consume food. If I condense that period and we skip breakfast and then we only consume calories at 12, and between 12 and 8, that's the easiest way to do 16-8. I think it can be shifted slightly back to 11-7 or 1-9 on the weekend if you're going out for dinner, for example, or 2-10. But as long as it's 16 hours without, 8 hours with, you're going to eat less in the 8 hours. So that's the reason why I want you to be using fasting as a strategy. The only time that we are not fasting is when you are training, okay? So when you are training early in the morning, before work, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 5 a.m., you do not fast. I want you to consume a protein-based breakfast after your workout. A palm-sized portion of protein, okay? Palm-sized portion after your workout. Because we want to increase protein intake to help with recovery, to help with muscle soreness, to help with building and toning muscle. So the only time you're not going to fast is if you are training first thing in the morning. Okay, so quick summary. intermittent fasting. The protocol that we are going to use is 16-8. 16 hours without food, no calories, no liquids. If you're going to have coffee, it has to be black. Tea has to be black. And then we have an 8-hour period where we can consume food. The way I like to do it, the easiest way I think, and from experience, is 12-8. However, you can shift it and be a little bit flexible with it if you want, to 11-7 or 1-9 on days that you need to. What's really important now, which I haven't mentioned, is what do I eat during my feeding time? So what am I going to be consuming? The easiest and most effective way to do it is to have 2 actual meals when you break your fast. So the first meal being your lunch. We want to make sure that this is an actual meal. Some people in my previous clients have tried to fast and then tried to be cautious with calories when it comes the time for them to consume their first meal. We do not want that, okay? So we want to make sure we are having a decent meal at lunch. What do I class as a decent meal? So this is your plate. I want your plate to consume a palm-sized portion of protein. So a chicken breast, a tin of tuna, 3 eggs, a piece of beef, some lean mince, some corn sausages. So that should be the first thing. Second thing should be some vegetables or some fruits. So veggies or fruits, a salad, some veggies are going to be amazing. And then the third part might be some fats or some carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are pastas, rices, certain grains, bread. And then some fats, you might have a little bit of olive oil, some avocado, you might make an olive oil dressing, you might have a piece of dark chocolate for dessert, you might have some nuts. We want that to be the smallest part of our plate, okay? So the biggest part of our plate is going to be protein and vegetables, around palm-sized portion of protein, 1 or 2 palm sizes of vegetables. Then we want to build it around some carbohydrates. Then our smallest part of our meal is going to be fats, okay? Small portion of fats, because fats are really dense in calories. So have some olive oil or some nuts or some dressing or avocado, but try not to consume too much of it because it's really high in calories. So we want to make sure that we are having a decent plate of food. A chicken Caesar salad, a 3-egg omelette, a chili con carne with some rice. Something that's well balanced, that's going to really fill us up. Because if you don't have a proper meal for your first meal, breaking your fast, this is what happens. You skimp on your first meal, so you might have a protein shake or a cereal bar or a piece of toast. Then 2 or 3 hours later, you are hungry, your blood sugar's dropped, and you need to consume calories. So what do? You just consume lots and lots of snacks from lunchtime until dinner. That's what we want to avoid. So we want to make sure we're having a decent quality meal at lunch, so then we are removing and avoiding snacking in that window between lunch and dinner, okay? And the final part is evening meal and snacks. Evening meal wants to pretty much replicate your lunch, and snacks, they want to be either fruit, low calorie snacks, or high protein snacks. So maybe a protein shake, maybe some Greek yogurt, maybe some low calorie popcorn. We want to make sure that they are either high in protein or under like 150, 200 calories, because this is going to be really, really beneficial for your long-term snacking journey whilst you are fasting. Let me know if you have any questions. I want you to do this on the days that we have spoke about on our coaching calls. So if I haven't told you to do it certain days or every day, just do it on the days that I've spoke to you about on our coaching calls. I hope this helps. Callum, out.